Hello students and welcome back to BankExamsToday.com. My name is Ramandeep Singh and today we are going to discuss three most important RBI circulars for the upcoming Bank of Maharashtra Generalist Officer Scale 2 exam. The three circulars that we are going to discuss are the changes in the priority sector lending norms, lending against gold and silver collateral directions, and master directions on payment aggregators. These three directions, these three guidelines are very important for your upcoming exam, right? Please go through them. Bank of Maharashtra Generalist Officer Scale 2 course is available on BankExamsToday.com, in which we are covering the entire syllabus with the help of video classes, notes, quizzes, and the test series. And we are also working on a power capsule. Link to join the course is available in the description. And this is my WhatsApp number where you can contact me and I'm going to answer you, right? So list of our successful students in the previous exam, the Bank of Maharashtra Generalist Officer 2023. All these students, they took our course and they cracked their respective exams in the 2023, in the 2022, Bank of Maharashtra Generalist Officer 2022, Bank of Baroda MSME Scale 3, Central Bank of India, ZBO, IBPS Marketing. All these students, they took our courses and they cracked their respective exams, and I'm really happy for them. So let's start the session. So let's start the session with the revised loan limits for the PSL categories. So housing loans की limits जो हैं वो change हो गई हैं. The limits have been changed. So the centers with population of 50 lakh and above, the loan limit is 50 lakh rupees. The maximum cost of dwelling unit is 63 lakhs. Okay. Please remember these numbers. These are in lakh rupees. Okay. Where population is 10 to 50 lakh, the loan limit is 45 lakhs and maximum cost of the dwelling unit is 57 lakhs. Centers where population is less than 10 lakhs, the loan limit is 35 lakhs and maximum cost of dwelling unit is 44 lakhs. So please remember this table for housing loans, okay? So loans for repair to damaged dwelling units. So centers with population of 50 lakhs and above, loan limit is 15 lakhs and maximum cost of dwelling unit is 63 lakhs. For centers with population between 10 to 50 lakhs, loan limit is 12 lakhs. Where maximum cost of dwelling unit is 57 lakhs, जो घर की कीमत है वो 57 lakhs है. So centers with population up to 10 lakhs, loan limit is 10 lakh rupees and maximum cost of dwelling unit is 44 lakhs. अगर 44 लाख रुपीस तक का घर है तो उस पे आप 10 लाख का रिपेयर का लोन ले सकते हो. It would be under priority sector. For educational loans, limit has been increased from 20 lakhs to 25 lakh पर इंडिविजुअल. अगर हायर एजुकेशन का आप लोन लेते हो, पहले 20 लाख रुपए लिमिट थी, नाउ द लिमिट इज 25 lakhs. फॉर रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी, लिमिट फॉर रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी प्रोजेक्ट्स, for example, solar, biomass, microhydel, windmills, it was 30 crore, but now the new limit is 35 crore per borrower, right? For building large scale projects. For individual households, if they want to set up solar panels, the cap is still 10 lakh रुपए. इसमें कोई चेंज नहीं आया है. ओके, बट रिन्यूएबल जो बड़े प्रोजेक्ट हैं, दैट लिमिट हैज बीन चेंज फ्रॉम 30 टू 35 लाख, 35 करोड़, अभी 35 करोड़ है. फॉर सोशल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर लोन्स, द लिमिट हैज बीन इंक्रीज्ड फ्रॉम 5 करोड़ टू 8 करोड़. 8 करोड़ इज द न्यू लिमिट पर borrower for projects such as school, healthcare facilities, drinking water, sanitation, etc. For healthcare infrastructure, the limit has been increased to 12 crore rupees per project, right? For projects such as hospitals, diagnostic centers and related facilities in tier 2 to tier 6 centers. So 12 crore रुपए तक का लोन इसमें priority sector lending loan count होगा. For urban cooperative bank, the overall target has been reduced from 75% to 60%. Okay. And the cap on loan to individual women beneficiaries removed to enhance credit access to the women entrepreneurs. So ये वाला cap जो है वो remove कर दिया गया, जो women beneficiaries पे था उसको remove कर दिया अभी. So adjustment to the overall target to the small finance bank has been decreased from 75% to 60%. जो नया overall priority sector lending target है small finance bank का अभी 60% है. Mandatory allocation 40% is still there, but जो flexible component है that has been decreased from 35% to 20%. For the regional credit distribution, incentive framework for regional credit distribution, I hope आपको aware होगा ये, आप aware होंगे. ऐसे कुछ एक district है where PSL credit is less than 9,000 rupees per capita, right? Per capita PSL credit is less than 9,000 rupee. A weightage of 125% would be given to loans given in these district. अगर ऐसे डिस्ट्रिक्ट जहां पे PSL प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर लेंडिंग के इतने ज्यादा लोन नहीं दिए गए हैं, इन दैट प्लेसेस वेटेज ऑफ 125% वुड बी गिवन, एंड द डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स वेयर per capita PSL credit is more than 42%, 90% weightage would be given to those districts. Okay. The definition of weaker section has been enhanced, I would say. Now the transgenders, they are part of weaker section category. Okay. Transgenders have been added in the weaker section alongside SC, ST, people with disability, individual women beneficiaries. So this is very important. Transgender का भी inclusion हो गया. Loan limit for women beneficiaries under weaker section is set at 2 lakh rupee per borrower for non-UCBs, right? Bank NBFC partnerships and non-lending में there are certain changes. Loan disbursed by NBFCs and HFCs for agriculture, MSMEs and housings, they are capped at 20 lakh rupee per borrower. 20 lakh rupee per borrower का cap है. If you want those loans to be classified as priority sector lending, ऐसा नहीं है नहीं दे सकते, दीजिए आप 30 लाख का दीजिए, लेकिन वो priority sector lending का लोन नहीं होगा. On lending capped at 5% of bank's total PSL portfolio. जो on lending है bank है, bank is giving loan to the NBFC, and then this NBFC is giving priority sector lending norms, priority sector lending loans, right? So these loans would be considered towards the target of bank. PSL जो target है bank का उस पे consider होंगे, but there is a limit of 5% of bank's total PSL portfolio. Loan against gold jewelry. Suppose if NBFC is giving loan against gold, right? Gold jewelry, that won't be considered. वो नहीं कंसिडर होगा. NBFC ने अगर ये गोल्ड लोन दिया तो ये PSL टारगेट की तरफ कैलकुलेट नहीं होगा, इसको नहीं कंसिडर किया जाएगा. Prohibition of charges on small loans. So loans up to 50,000 rupee per borrowers. If bank is giving any loan up to 50,000 rupee, banks are prohibited from charging any fee, any extra charge. Banks are prohibited from levying loan related or ad hoc service charges such as processing fee, inspection charges. Banks, they cannot levy such charges. अब आपने 20,000 रुपए का लोन लिया है, 30,000 का लोन लिया है, तो बैंक जो है आलतू फालतू खर्चे डालते हैं, एप्लीकेशन फी, प्रोसेसिंग फी. नाउ दे कांट डू दिस. ओके. Expanded scope for renewable energy projects, right? So that criteria has been broadened. Broader criteria has been introduced under the renewable energy. Now it includes solar-based power generator, biomass-based power generator, windmills, microhydel plants. So these are included. Okay. Transition provisions. Loans classified as PSL under the 2020 guidelines, they will continue to be considered as PSL loans, right? जो पहले वाली guidelines में PSL थे, वो अब भी PSL ही रहेंगे till their maturity. Support for MSMEs, incremental credit to MSME in specified district eligible for higher weightage. तो अभी और जो एस्पिरेशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट है उनको इंक्लूड करा गया है हायर वेटेज के लिए, जो भी लास्ट में डिस्कस करा था. एंड लोन्स टू MSME अंडर CGT MSC विल कंटिन्यू टू क्वालिफाई फॉर PSL. MSME को जो लोन दिया गया है जिसमें CGT MSC की गारंटी है, दैट विल बी कंसिडर्ड फॉर PSL. Now this is important. Increased loan limit for agriculture allied activities. This limit has been increased. Loan for crop production, plantation, horticulture. This limit has been increased from 2 crores to 4 crores. So this is for the farm credit. जो कॉर्पोरेट फार्मर्स, जो फार्मर प्रोड्यूसर ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, एफपीओज, एफपीसीज लोन लेते हैं. सो फॉर एग्रीकल्चरल लोन, दिस लोन वाज 2 crore. नाउ दिस लिमिट हैज बीन इंक्रीज टू 4 crores. सो लोन अगेंस्ट द NWR ईड एंड ENWR रिसीट जो थी, नेगोशिएबल जो वेयर हाउस रिसीट थी, that limit has been increased. Now it is 4 crore rupees, right? And for any other receipt, it is 2.5 crores. So loan against these receipt, this limit has been increased. So FPOs, FPCs with assured marketing at predetermined market prices, they can get loans up to 10 crore rupee per borrower. And UCBs are restricted from giving any kind of loans to cooperatives or farmers. UCB इनको loan नहीं दे सकती. Loans for food and agro processing unit, the limit has been enhanced to 100 crores to be qualified as PSL. Credit for farm mechanization, agriculture, allied activities expanded. So इसकी जो limits हैं वो expand कर दी गई, categories को expand कर दिया गया है. So let's start the session. These guidelines are applicable to commercial banks, सारी regulated entities excluding payment banks, right? So commercial banks, cooperative banks, NBFCs, HFCs सब पे लागू होगा. And basically this circular replaces 30 prior circulars to eliminate regulatory disparities, right? So eligible collateral क्या है? Ornaments, gold and silver jewelry और gold jewelry जो है that should be at least 22 carat and silver should be at least 925 purity, right? Ornaments and bank sold coins. Raw gold bars जो होती हैं, raw gold bars, you cannot get loan against these raw gold bars, right? 24 carat bars मिलती हैं, आप इसके against loan नहीं ले सकते. Maximum collateral limit is 1 kg gold ornaments, 50 gram gold coins, 10 kg silver ornaments, 500 gram silver coins per borrower. That is a maximum collateral limit. 1 kg से ज़्यादा के gold ornaments पे आप loan नहीं ले सकते. LTV जो लोन टू वैल्यू रेशियो है, अगर 1 लाख रुपए का आपका ऑर्नामेंट है, ज्वेलरी है, तो आप उस पर कितना ले सकते हैं? अप टू 2.5 लाख, 85% कैन बी द LTV, राइट? 85%, लाख रुपए का लोन ले रहे हैं, लाख रुपए का अगर कोलेटरल है तो 85,000 रुपये आपको लोन मिल सकता है एट मैक्स. इफ द वैल्यू इज 2.5 lakh to 5 lakhs, the LTV is 80%. Max LTV is 80%. Above 5 lakh rupee of the loan, the LTV is 75% and LTV must be maintained throughout the loan tenure, right? With valuation based on the lower of 30-day average or previous day's closing price from IBGA or SEBI recognized exchanges. ये जो LTV है इसको पूरे loan tenure के दौरान maintain करना होगा बैंक को, okay? Valuation and transparency, standardized assaying procedures are required with the borrowers for the valuation. The lenders must issue certificates detailing purity, weights, deductions, collateral value. ये सभी का एक certificate देना होगा. Loan agreement must outline the terms, the auction process, the fees clearly. ये सारा कुछ clearly बताना होगा. For the borrower's protection, ownership verification is mandatory. Loan against doubtful collateral is prohibited. देखना पड़ेगा कि चोरी का ना हो. Collateral must be returned within 7 days of post repayment. अगर लोन वापस कर दिया है 7 दिन के अंदर अंदर आपको उसका collateral वापस करना है, नहीं तो 5,000 रुपये पर डे का compensation देना पड़ेगा for each day of delay. Lender bear the cost for collateral damage or loss. In case of collateral damage or loss, the lender जो बैंक है उसको bear करना पड़ेगा cost. अगर if it is a let's say bracelet or something वो टूट गया है तो the lender is going to bear the cost. What is the auction rule? The process should be transparent. Public notice should be given in two newspaper, one regional, one national. Reserve price should be at least 90% plus of market value. That should be the reserve value. In case of 2 unsuccessful auctions, 85% at least पे भी बेचा जा सकता है. Surplus proceeds must be refunded within 7 days. नहीं तो 5,000 रुपये पर डे का जो फाइन है जो लास्ट स्लाइड में बताया वो देना पड़ेगा. Unclaimed collateral, gold, silver unclaimed for 2 year post payment deemed as unclaimed. 2 साल तक अगर कोई पेमेंट लेने नहीं आया, that is unclaimed. The lender they must attempt to locate the borrower. borrower को locate करने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए या उसके हायर्स को जो है locate करने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए. Report to their board और customer service committee. Credit policy and oversight. Lender must establish policies for single borrower and portfolio limits. अगर कोई LTV की ब्रीच होती है तो उसके मेजर्स, प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर लेंडिंग डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, सबका डॉक्यूमेंटेशन करना पड़ेगा. लोन्स अबव 2.5 लाख रुपए, 2.5 लाख के ऊपर के अगर लोन है तो उस पर प्रॉपर क्रेडिट अप्रेजल का रिक्वायरमेंट है. डिटेल्ड पोर्टफोलियो डिस्क्लोजर का रिक्वायरमेंट है. राइट. मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, ग्रैंडफादरिंग लोन्स सैंक्शन बिफोर 1 अप्रैल 2026. तो उस पर जो प्रायर गाइडलाइंस हैं वो ही लगेंगी टू इंश्योर स्मूथ ट्रांजिशनिंग. ओके, मूव फॉरवर्ड, आगे बढ़ते हैं विद क्वेश्चंस. पहले क्वेश्चन पे आते हैं. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग एंटिटीज आर गवर्न्ड बाय द आरबीआई? आरबीआई इज लेंडिंग अगेंस्ट गोल्ड एंड सिल्वर कोलेट्रल. ये किस किस पे लगता है? ये देखिए, एक्सक्लूडिंग पेमेंट बैंक, कमर्शियल बैंक, कोऑपरेटिव बैंक, एनबीएफसी, सब पे लगता है. पेमेंट बैंक पे ये गाइडलाइंस नहीं लगती. What is the maximum LTV for a loan of 4 लाख रुपी? 80%. 2.5 लाख से जो कम था उस पर 85 था, आई गेस. तो 80. इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है, इसको याद करके रखें. राइट, प्लीज रिमेंबर दैट. 2.5 लाख से वो कम है तो 85%, 2.5 से 5 है तो 80%, 5 से ऊपर है तो 75% LTV रहेगा. एंड ये LTV को मेंटेन करना है. जब तक आपका लोन चलेगा तब तक LTV को मेंटेन करके चलना है. Which of the following is an eligible form of collateral under RBI? RBI gold jewelry of 22 carat purity. बुलियन बाज पे तो लोन देना ही नहीं है. गोल्ड एक्सचेंज ट्रेडेड फंड ETF पे भी देना नहीं है. सिल्वर कॉइन्स जो है वो 925 प्योरिटी वाला चाहिए. तो इन सब पे जो है गोल्ड एक्सचेंज ट्रेडेड फंड ETF पे भी जो लोन नहीं देते हैं. ओके. What penalty must a lender pay if he fails to return the collateral within 7 working days after full repayment? पैसा वापस कर दिया गया है लेकिन कोलेट्रल आप ज्वेलरी नहीं दे रहे हो विद इन 7 डेज, तो पर डे आपको 5,000 रुपये का जो है कॉम्पनसेशन देना पड़ेगा. इन द फर्स्ट ऑक्शन अटेम्प्ट द किस रेट पे ऑक्शन करना चाहिए? 90% ऑफ द मार्केट वैल्यू. अगर ऑक्शन सक्सेसफुल नहीं होती हैं दो, देन 85%. ओके, दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. What is the maximum weight of gold ornament that can be accepted as collateral? 1 kilogram of gold ornaments can be accepted. How must lenders determine the value of gold or silver collateral under 2025 directions? Using lower of 30-day average or previous days closing price. 30-day average या previous ईयर्स का क्लोजिंग प्राइस है. इन दोनों में से जो कम है वो यूज करेंगे. प्राइस कहाँ, कौन सा? IBJA और सेबी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड एक्सचेंजेस. इन दोनों में से आप कुछ भी चूज कर सकते हो. व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड of lenders if collateral remains unclaimed for 2 years? Attempt to locate the borrower or report to their board अगर कंपनी है तो. What is the requirement for auction notices under 2025 directions? Publish in 2 newspaper, 1 regional, 1 national. ऑक्शन करने से पहले 2 जगह पे आपको करना पड़ेगा, न्यूज़पेपर में छपवाना पड़ेगा एडवर्टाइजमेंट. For loans above 2.5 lakh rupees, what is the additional requirement that are to be fulfilled under these guidelines? Conduct a credit appraisal. एक credit appraisal करना पड़ेगा. Start the session with the first circular, that is Master Direction on Regulation of Payment Aggregators. So why this Master Circular and why it is issued? The most important factor, the most important part of the circular is regarding the net worth requirement of the payment aggregator. The net worth requirement. This is the most important part and most important for your examination, right? So first of all, who are payment aggregators? So if you ever made payment on any website or a mobile app, you might have noticed that even when you make a payment on bank exams today, you are redirected to Razorpay, right? Even if you try to make a payment for your train tickets or air tickets, we do not have any contact with the banks itself, right? So there are so many banks in India, so many payment methods. It is not possible for us technically to have an API of each and every bank. So there are specialized companies like Razorpay, like CC Avenue, lot many other companies. We use Razorpay and Cashfree. So Razorpay, it's a payment aggregator. What they do is they contact with all the payment aggregators like HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, even the UPIs. They connect with all the payment services, and then they provide us an API. So they provide us an as a service, so that on our website Bank Exams Today, we use Razorpay as a service. We pay them 2%, 1% of the whatever the fee that we collect, but they help us process the payments. So these are payment aggregators. So there are master directions MD on these payment aggregators. So that's what we are going to discuss. So it is issued under the Section 18 of Payment and Settlement Act and FEMA 1999. So these guidelines are effective immediately. So it applies to both bank and non-bank entities. So certain banks, HDFC Bank is also providing payment aggregator services, and non-bank entities like Razorpay, they are providing the payment aggregator services. So it covers the three categories of payment aggregators. Physical, the companies who provide that devices, there are POA devices, certain companies who are into the POA devices only. I do not personally use it, but still there are so many companies who are providing the POA devices, right? So these are PA physical, payment aggregator physical category. PA online, for example, the Razorpay, I use it personally, so I know them. So payment aggregator online category, and payment aggregator cross border. Razorpay also provide the cross border services as well. बहुत सारे हैं, so they provide cross border transaction services. So while sitting in India, you can collect payment from your customers from US, Europe. So it is even possible, right? So key provisions, first of all, the most important part, authorization and capital. The non-bank entities must apply for a certificate of authorization via RBI's portal, right? So first of all, they should get an certificate of authorization via RBI's portal, and minimum net worth requirement at the time of application is 15 crore rupees, and within 3 years, the net worth should be 25 crore rupees. Due to this particular guidelines, a lot of known payment aggregator companies just died overnight. I know one of them. I personally use their services, InstaMojo. In the beginning of my career, I used the services of InstaMojo. I mean, they were really great people. When I just started working in 2012, I used their services. I talked to their founders, but now due to this particular guideline, this company actually failed, and now it is, I guess, they are not even active. So minimum net worth requirement at the time of application 15 crore and 25 crore by the end of third year. And this point itself is very important. So from the whole, master direction, this particular point was in the news for a long period of time. So bank PAs, payment aggregators that don't require any separate authorization. Existing the PAs must intimate RBI or adjust their COA, certificate of authorization, as needed. So from this whole point, you need to understand non-bank entities, they need to get certificate of authorization from RBI. Bank entities, bank PAs, payment aggregators, they don't need any separate certificate of authorization. Okay. So governance must be professionally managed. Promoters and directors, they must fulfill the fit and the proper criteria of RBI. Change in control acquisition must comply with RBI's prior approval. So For the dispute or the grievance redressal, there must be a proper system available with the payment aggregator. The payment aggregator must have a mechanism for dispute handling. If there is a dispute between the person who made the payment and the merchant, there should be a proper dispute handling system. There should be a proper mechanism for chargebacks, for refunds, right? Agreement between the payment aggregator, merchant, and banks must clearly define the rules and responsibilities. Okay. Fraud and risk management. The payment aggregator must have a robust IT and security infrastructure, and they must comply with standards like PCI DSS, PCI SSF, and there should be annual audits, cybersecurity audit by certain impaneled auditors. So this is an organization, impaneled auditors. So data storage norms as per RBI's guidelines for the system data storage rules. General directions on conduct. The payment aggregators can only aggregate only for merchants with whom they have contractual relationship. There is a contract between the merchant. So bank exams today. My name is Ramandeep and I'm a merchant and we have a proper agreement with Razorpay. We do proper KYC. We submitted our GST details with the Razorpay. We shared our address proofs, identity proofs, and everything. So PA itself cannot run its marketplace business. So payment aggregator cannot have its own marketplace business. The MDR should be reasonable. Any extra charges must be displayed before the payment. There should be no hidden charges to the customers. Refunds must go back to the original mode. If you made the payment via UPI and if you raise a refund request and if it is approved by the merchant, the payment should go back to the original method of payment. The payment aggregators cannot use ATM pin for card not present transaction. So for the online payments, ATM pins cannot be used. OTP must be used. For the cross-border transactions, inward and outward transaction funds must be kept separately, no netting. All the inward transactions and outward transactions, they should be separate. No netting. It shouldn't be like, outward transactions are deducted from inward. It shouldn't be happening. So payment aggregator cross-border may onboard foreign merchants or tie up with the overseas payment aggregator marketplace. So foreign merchants can be onboarded. For example, Razorpay being an Indian company, they can onboard US customers, US merchants, or from anywhere around the world, right? Outward transactions allowed via Indian payment instruments only. The outward transactions, whatever the payments are going out of India, they should be via Indian payment instruments. If an Indian is making payment, that should be made via Indian payment instrument. Maximum transaction value per cross-border transaction is 25 lakh rupees. One transaction cannot be more than 25 lakh rupee. If it is more than that, you need to go to your bank for the wire payment, right? This is, done to control the Benami or the black money transactions, right? So the payment aggregator cross-border cannot deal in foreign exchange with any entity except an authorized dealer, and must provide documents for exporters, importers to close EDPMS or IDPMS entries, and settlement in non-INR currencies only for directly onboarded exporters, right? So in the non-INR currencies like US dollars, it should be only available for directly onboarded exporters. For the KYCs, the payment aggregators, they must comply with the KYC guidelines, RBI's master directions on the KYCs. So where merchants see KYCR records exist, the payment aggregator should fetch it. And for small merchants, where turnover thresholds are not met, where turnover is less than even 20 lakh rupee, lighter CDDs are allowed, like PAN, Form 60, CPV, OVD, even that are acceptable. Even if you do not have GST registration, even then you can have a payment aggregator account. You can open an account with Razorpay without having GST account. That is possible. So onboarding via agents allowed for limited activities, but ultimately responsibility lies with the payment aggregators. So the payment aggregator can use third-party services for the KYC, but the responsibility is with the payment aggregator only, right? At the end of the day, whether all the merchants have done proper KYC, I mean, the payment aggregator is responsible for that. So merchants onboarded by 31st of December 2025 must be compliant within 1 year. And from 1st of January 2026, all merchants must follow this master direction rules, right? Escrow settlement and fund. So whatever the payments that you make on the websites, for example, the payments that you are making on bank exams today, we do not get the payment instantly. Generally, we get the payment on third day or the second day, right, of your payment, right? So for that period, for 1 or 2 days, the payment must be kept at an escrow account. So escrow funds can be used for authorized businesses only. So non-bank payment aggregator must maintain a separate escrow account. Okay. So the difference should be kept at the escrow account. So day end balance in the escrow must be more than equal to funds due to merchants but not yet settled. So the payment aggregators, all the times they have some of our money, right? Because they make our payment on third day, so they keep our 2 days of payment. So let's say today I sold courses worth 10,000 rupees. So I mean tomorrow I sold courses worth again 10,000 rupee. So they keep our 20,000 rupee with themselves, right? So escrow account for existing payment aggregator to be set up within 2 months of authorization, and escrow shouldn't be used for cash on delivery transactions. Escrow account shouldn't be used for cash on delivery transactions. That's it. So annual and quarterly reports to RBI, like net worth certificate, audit reports, escrow certificate, transaction statistics should be sent to the RBI. Escrow account certificates from auditor and banks, that should be also be submitted to RBI. Change in board must be reported immediately. So repeal and savings, earlier related circulars are repealed. Actions taken or approval given under the older circular remain valid under this master guideline. So what is new under this guideline? All, this master direction brings all the payment aggregator categories under one unified regulatory framework. There are stronger net worth requirements, 10 crore rupees at the time of application and 25 crore rupees within 3 years. Clear segregation of funds for the cross-border transaction, the inward and the outward transactions. I mean, netting is not possible. Tighter rules for the escrow operations, right? The payments, the non-bank payment aggregator, they should keep the money in an escrow account. More prescriptive on security audits and IT governance. So the security guidelines are tightened now. Stricter KYC guidelines. Responsibilities of agents are clarified. Now the payment aggregators is responsible for any frauds in KYC, right? More granular reporting requirement. That was a tongue twister. That's all for today, students. I hope you understood this particular guideline.